Hey guys, Cream Crazy here, and it should be in the news, but obviously I have more pressing matters to deal with. This is the October Q&A. I hope you're all ready for this because I had to wait a while. Because let's see what happened was, because the record from webcam feature wasn't working at the weekend, I did a video on iMovie, tried to upload it, and deleted all the questions from my document that I usually have. Unfortunately, the video didn't upload. I had to re-watch the video from scratch to get these questions back. So that was a bit of a misjudgment on my end, wasn't it? And basically, if your question turns out to be wrong, don't worry, really, because it's just an answer. If it isn't what you asked for, point it out to me and I'll give you the answer in a personal message or something. That okay? I usually would put the names of the people down below, but you all know who you are. It's a bit late. And I've already got the November moderator open, so I could probably just give it a bye, couldn't I? Anyway, let's go on with these questions, shall we? You've waited a couple of days for these, I bet. Move this in a little bit closer. There we go. Right, first off, Largest85 asked, which wrestler would you bring back from the dead to win the title? Now bet all of you are thinking right now, it's Chris Benoit. It's got to be Chris Benoit. You'd obviously bring him back. There's only one problem with that. Apart from the fact he is also dead and it could give a possibility. He already won the world title. So if I was going to do this question, I would think of basically who hasn't won the title, who is also dead, who could possibly be given it. There's three names that pop into my head, really. And that's British Bulldog, Rick Rude, and Mr. Perfect. Because they're three guys who bloody deserve to win the title, didn't they? To me, all three of them deserve to. But for me, I have to go for Mr. Perfect. Simply because he had the technical prowess, the mic ability, the general cocky swag you'd expect a heel champion to have. And I'm amazed he didn't win it when he came back to the company. But of course, the plane ride from hell changed all that. So, you know what? I'm amazed he never actually won the thing. I always thought Perfect would win it off Flair or something. Especially after he lost the title to Bret, the Continental title in the early 90s. I would have thought he would have gone after it then, but obviously that wasn't the case, was it? Coventry Jordan 90 asks, who would you like to see Undertaker have a match with at WrestleMania, and would you end his winning streak? People have been going on about rumours about what this match will be. And people have been saying it'll either be a rematch against Mark Henry from WrestleMania 22, and a rematch against Triple H from X7 and last year. Both of those don't work. And I don't like that they're going to do that. If they do, that's just stupid. I mean, a rematch with Shawn Michaels was given. It was great for both matches. But you can't give another third match to Triple H. That's a bit stupid. It won't benefit anybody. Even the rumours that Mick Foley could be coming back for this are slightly flawed. I would give a young guy a chance. And I'd give Wade Barrett the chance because, one, he's got legitimate beef with Undertaker, burying him alive, obviously, at Bragging Rights 2010, if you don't remember now. And the fact is, if Foley was going to be integrated into this, why not have Foley as Barrett's mentor for this? Because you think about it, out of many of the matches Mick Foley's had against Undertaker, he hasn't won many of them, has he? And the two major ones that he did win were, in my honest memory, the Boiler Room Brawl from SummerSlam 96 and the Buried Alive match from, I think, one of the in-house events in 1996 as well, which were both done with outside interference. So think about that for a second. He has never really gotten one over on The Undertaker. And he would love to, in many ways possible, get one over on what would be Undertaker's last match against a young opponent who Taker could help put over. To me, that's a legitimate reason for Foley to get involved. And also, imagine the emotional, epic promos. It would be so intense, so great, that you couldn't pass up this opportunity to save the world, could you? It would be brilliant. And personally, it would be the best thing to go for. But would Barrett end the streak, though? That's the question many ask. People say it's better if he does. But honestly, I don't think Taker should lose the streak. Taker will win, keeping it, and Barrett will just lose. Much like how Randy Orton was ready to put a tombstone on Undertaker and finish it, that got reversed into a tombstone by Undertaker. He was that close to doing it. And also because Shawn Michaels was also that close to doing it as well. So I would give the devil his due. Give Barrett one of the best matches of his life. But don't let him win, but only by the smallest margin. It would benefit everybody. Taker keeps his streak, Foley makes this one of the best feuds ever, and Barrett gets his opportunity to shine. Good for him. But if he did win it, that would still be fun. I'd like that regardless. Good passing of the torch moment from brawler to brawler. Good stuff. John Cena for Life says, what is the most extreme match you have ever watched? Mine is Edge and Foley versus Funk and Dreamer from One Night Stand 06. Really? Really? I'm going to say it again. Really? Okay, I know you're a young fan, and I get that you haven't seen many really, really extreme matches. I mean, that is a great match nonetheless. Good to see Lita and Beulah McGillicuddy getting busted open, actually. That's what makes it even more ridiculous. And also, Funk's eye being tangled in the barbed wire. It's kind of sick. But there are some matches that spring to my mind. In terms of bloody gore, JBL Eddie Guerrero, just for the simple amount of bloodshed. That was Judgment Day 2004. The Type A death match between Ian and Axel Rotten in 95 in ECW. Don't know what that is. Basically, if you dip your hands in super glue and then rub the hands in broken bottle shards, that's enough to say, God, it's going to be extreme. The Barbed Wire Massacre, which is Sabu versus Terry Funk from Born to be Wired in 97 ECW. The Barbed Wire Massacre between Sabu and Abyss. TNA one there, just one of the only few I can think of. Another bloody brawl, if you haven't seen it, Undertaker Brock Lesnar at No Mercy 02. There aren't too many. Also any Funk and Foley match in Japan in the early 90s where they wrestled on nails, barbed wire, glass, even C4 explosives. Check that out because it is really quite sick how they managed to do that. But there's one thing, actually, that is better than all of those for showing hardcore extremity. Because people say ECW defined the hardcore garbage wrestling, so to speak. When they actually didn't. They had a load of great technical guys to back that up. And make it, less garbagey. But there's only one video I know that can technically boast that. And that's CZW. Because CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling, there's a video of theirs that highlights their Tournament of Death. Which, if you don't know, is a big King of the Ring style tournament with all kinds of extreme matches. Well, there was a video I watched when I first started getting into wrestling on the internet, really. Then I discovered it. And it was basically their first 4 Tournaments of Death in a music video, which had Bleeding Through's song on, which was censored by WMG, the bastards. But at the same time, it's ridiculous. Because they're beating them up with steel chairs, hardened impacts, staple guns, glass, loads of thumbtacks, fluorescent light bulbs. They're one of those big, giant, enormous light tubes. And also, in one case, a weed whacker. Basically a spinning blade with a pole attached. It's ridiculous. And personally, all the bloodshed in that, chunks of flesh missing, blood everywhere. It's sick. And personally, nothing I've ever seen will denote hardcore or extreme quite like that. And the video will probably, if I look at the link there in the description, it'll probably be flagged as age restricted because I couldn't watch it for years after I first watched it because, of course, I had to be 18 to watch it. I don't know if that still permits it. But at the same time, if you really want to see something really extreme, click that link down there for that video. It is sick. You know what? Actually, you know what? If you can't, fine, I understand the censors. But if you don't like graphic imagery, don't click on that. Because anything you see in the WWE or TNA or even ECW may seem ridiculously extreme, or especially in ECW. But I would honestly, don't check that out if you're quite squeamish and don't like hardcore wrestling, because it will not be for the faint of heart. I tell you that for sure. Rico3 asks, do you think The Miz, R-Truth and Nash will form a New Age NWO? No. Well, there's only one simple reason why. Because I don't think Nash can do it. Personally, he's not the guy who you'd expect. Because Miz and R-Truth, as charismatic backing guys, are the perfect back for anyone else. The only problem they're lacking is a leader. Nash is not a good mic worker. Plus, not a good in-ring guy either. So what would you do? to do that. Many say, have Cena turn heel and join these two. I always thought Punk would do it. I always thought, because Punk's more fitting with the original NWO. An outsider group of people who aren't really liked. And then, of course, bam, he's very anti-authoritarian as well, calling for change. He'd better be suited for that. He'd way better be suited for that. And in my opinion, it would have worked a lot better that way. Because, I mean, sure, Cena turning heel, much like Hulk Hogan, would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Everyone would love to see that. But it would be better suited for Punk. I mean, Nash, one thing you have to worry about is every time he steps in the ring, he has, a quad moment. He could tear his quaddies if he steps in the ring. That's the one thing you got to worry about with him. Don't know if he could actually do the job properly, could he? No. So I think Nash he'd be kind of like the Big Show for the 2002 NWO, where he's just a big guy who stands around, talks a bit when he gets to intimidate somebody, beats someone up. That's it. He really hasn't got a place. But if he was in this new age NWO, he would be able to give some legitimacy to the group. No doubts. No doubt that would be legitimate, wouldn't it? Definitely. Ooh, well, next question. Habashmi! Wee. Now, I don't know if this is what you put. It's something to do with it, but I'm not too sure if this is exactly how you worded it. Nonetheless, I'll give it a go anyway. If you could create a fatal four-way for each wrestling style, ones you listed here were submission, high flyer, brawler, and powerhouse, which I know isn't all of them, but I digress. That's what you listed. Well, apart from submission, I added that myself to round it out. Who would you put in each one? Powerhouse. I would stick Kane, Undertaker, Andre the Giant, and either Bruno Sammartino, because he is fucking huge, or maybe even Goldberg, just for the hell of it, because the guy could rip you to shreds in no time. May not be one of the best wrestlers in the world, but fuck it, the guy could. No, I'd definitely stick Goldberg instead of Bruno Sammartino. Fucking hell. Brawler, Bruiser Brody, Mick Foley. Bruiser Brody, Mick Foley. Who else did I put in this originally? It's so annoying. Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was thinking Dick the Bruiser, but memory serves me, I'm not entirely sure. But if they were in them, I could put JBL in there as well. Lord knows. But if you were in a match with them, they'd fucking rip you to shreds and you wouldn't even come out there alive. They could probably beat the Actually, if you're in a brawling match, even Hardcore Holly would be worth sticking in there. But I digress. High Flyer. Juventud Guerrera, Mystico, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero, plainly because he is a high flyer, despite the submission tendencies he has. Submission, even easier than the others. Angle, Bryan, or Danielson, whichever way you want to go it. Angle, Danielson, Benoit, and Hart. Done. I mean, the thing is, the good thing about these kind of things, you can stick anyone you want in there, which is fantastic. You'd be able to stick anybody, any time and place in there from any era, and they probably could put on a good match. I probably missed out somebody from the Brawler lot, but I mean, you can put whatever you want to in these things. It's so subjective to opinion that you can do anything you want, which would be great, wouldn't it? Great, wouldn't it? I'd tell you that for sure. Okay, here the next one. I hope those are good enough for you, man. I hope that is what you asked me for, because I don't want to make a mistake on these things. Chudderman, you asked, what would you like to see on the WWE Network when it launches? It won't come in the UK, apparently, according to you, but we can dream. I hope it does come in here. You know what? I'd love to see them take the more realism aspect of the sport. Give us analytical things on matches, people's strategies to winning, all that kind of stuff. To blow it open for you having possible options available when predicting a match, that kind of stuff. Maybe put King of the Ring tournament, spread it out entirely, put every single round match on like a highlight show or something, and they do the same for Royal Rumble qualifications. Then you can actually say, okay, this guy has qualified for the Rumble, we don't need to say, oh, he's just going to join in. That's a bit stupid. Remember Benoit and Cena doing that. I'd love to see also Iron Sheik do a ranting thing. He's doing stand-up comedy, apparently. That's hysterical. I would love to see Iron Sheik just rant off on whatever the fuck he wants to. It'll go against PG, obviously, but hell, it'll be worthy. Just keep the wrestling product at the forefront. That's what I want. I don't want to have these random shit programs over everything. I hope that's enough. And guys, I know this seems a bit weird, but I'm going to sign off now because part 2 will come up. I don't know if this will cut off the last minute. See you guys then. I've got more questions coming.